Hello friends, this is Worm, and yes, I'm aware it's time for a haircut, and we return today to the Perk Forge series, where we take a look at almost every perk in Destiny 2 and talk about how we can make them better, because they are really underperforming. And of course today, as you see on screen here, we have Attrition Orbs. Now Attrition Orbs, relatively new perk, right? It was just brought in, was it last season? I believe, Season of the Wish, maybe the season before that. Can't remember exactly when it was brought in. But the idea behind it is pretty neat, right? It states here, upon scoring a magazine-based amount of damage instances within 5 seconds of each, creates an orb of power that grants 0.8% super energy. Hits required to activate 67% of the magazine plus 2, rounded down. Bows, 5, swords, 10. Now, basically, this perk, what it's meant to do is generate orbs of power without actually having to do anything other than just shoot the gun, right? Which, granted, that is a that's a perk that has pretty powerful potential, right? I mean, orbs of power do a lot for Guardians. Of course, we get super energy from it. Depending on our mods, we can also get grenade, melee, class ability energy for it. We get armor charges, so that we can have things like, our surge mods, stuff like that. Like Attrition Orbs gives us the ability to make orbs of power just kind of whenever we want, which I think is a really big deal, but I don't see anybody really using this weapon perk. And I think that there's two reasons why. Number one, it's not a damage or reload perk. Like, obviously that's kind of the big thing with basically every weapon, is people want a damage and a reload perk. But also the other reason is that it takes forever to make an orb of power. You literally get one orb of power like per magazine, basically, because it's 67% of the magazine, which is a lot. Okay, so in the time it takes you to shoot what, 2 magazines, or is it 3 magazines this year? 3 magazines, you make 3 orbs of power. Nope, not even 3 orbs of power, 2 orbs of power, right? I don't know, I'm terrible with math. Anyways, it's a very slow process. And I think that, I really don't think Attrition Orbs is all that bad. Like, again, you're making orbs of power, and orbs of power do a lot for Guardians. I think a lot of people see this perk and they think, oh, that's super bad. Like, it's not a damage boost, it's not this boost. But like, if you're building into like armor charges, for example, like the ability to just get free armor charges is really good. That's really strong. But I think that we could make this perk a little bit better in the meta, and I think the thing that you have to do to it is pretty simple. Just decrease the requirement right here. Of course, it says 67% of the magazine. Change that. Let's change that to like maybe 50. I would say, maybe 50% of the magazine, and then maybe for the enhanced version you could lower that to like 45 or something like that, right? Because then in any given magazine you're going to be able to create 2 orbs of power, right? So yes, you theoretically could sit there and spam a submachine gun with a high reload speed, and just make a ton of orbs of power. But at the same time, you're trading that off for your ability to get damage perks, for your ability to, reload quicker and stuff like that. So I think that's, that would be one of the ways we could make Attrition Orbs better, is just to lower that percentage pretty substantially, right? So that you can make at least 2 per magazine, and maybe with the enhanced version have it so that you can make essentially 2.5 orbs per magazine, right? That way it only takes 2 magazines to create 5 orbs, as opposed to however many it would take without it. But that's the first thing. The other thing that I could see really helping Attrition Orbs is having the weapon automatically reload when you collect an orb of power. This to me just makes sense, because I don't think, off the top of my head, I don't think there's any weapons in the game, even exotics, that allow the weapon to be fully reloaded when you pick up an orb of power. Scratch that. I think Sweet Business might be orbs of power and special ammo will reload it, but I could be mistaken. It could just be special ammo. But neither here nor there. With Attrition Orbs, any weapon that has Attrition Orbs, you give it the ability to automatically reload when you pick up an orb of power. It would give it kind of that synergy, it's making orbs of power, then is replenishing itself based on these orbs of power. Or maybe not even a full reload, maybe like a half reload, like 50% of the magazine, even 30% of the magazine would be really nice, because then you can sit there, you could shoot a target, and especially if you're right up next to that target, you could have a really a long magazine, an extended magazine, because as long as you're close enough to collect those orbs, maybe you have powerful attraction on as well, you pick up those orbs when you use your class ability, you can constantly just chain that damage together. And of course, you're not getting any benefits outside of Attrition Orbs because you're not having like a damage perk. Like, I guess technically there are some weapons that have damage perks as well as Attrition Orbs, but I'm pretty sure in most weapons, Attrition Orbs is in that fourth column, which is primarily where your damage dealing perks are. So I think that that would be a way that we could change Attrition Orbs to make it better, to make it more viable in the meta. I think that this is kind of a niche choice anyways, just because, you know, not everybody wants to build into you know, Orbs of Power. But again, if you are having an Orb of Power build, this can be a very strong perk. Let's just make it even stronger in terms of building into that. But of course, that's it. That's my thoughts for Attrition Orbs. I want to hear your thoughts on Attrition Orbs and your thoughts on my thoughts on what we could do to it. Like, do you like it? Do you not like it? Tell me all those thoughts in the comments. Of course, if you like today's video, do me a favor, drop a like. It helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe for more daily Destiny content, conversations, debates, discussions, all that stuff. And do me one more thing. Like the video. I'm sorry. Drop a like. What am I trying to say? Subscribe. Anyways, yeah, sub and watch the videos you see on the end screen, because for you, YouTube things, you like them. Guys, that's it for me. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.